Hello, my YouTuber friend. We are going to dive into communication because communication is truly the key to every success in life. If you think about it, all relationships require healthy, consistent communication that leads or moves growth forward in your relationships. And there is nowhere that we are not in relationships. Like, think about that for a second. Is there anywhere in your life that you are not in a relationship? No. Everywhere in life, even if you're thinking about like, well, when I'm by myself, I'm not in a relationship. Oh, sure you are. You're in one of the most important relationships, the one you have with yourself, with moi, right? So I'm award-winning master life coach and speaker, Alejandra Crisafulli, known as the Baller Coach, and I'm so glad that you have landed here on this YouTube channel watching this video about the communication solution is what we're going to focus in on, or begin to focus in on. I developed this communication solution because I found how challenged clients were with communication, specifically in their intimate relationships. But my friend, this solution that I will be sharing with you through a series of videos goes beyond just intimate relationship. This really goes into every relationship that you have, whether it's one with a partner, whether it's a coworker, a friend, a person that you lead. Leaders, this is huge, what I'm going to be teaching you. Your children, okay, your parents, like anybody, any relationship, even the relationships you have with money, time, health, because we're not only at business, you're in a relationship with your business too. We are not only in relationship with people, we're in relationships with things too. And communication is the foundation to having success in those relationships or not. So that is why I developed this communication solution, because it was just like, why is communication so hard for us? It's something that should be so simple. Why? Because we've been doing it our whole lives. So it should be so simple, but it's not. It is not simple, my friends. I should say this. It's not easy. It is simple, but not necessarily easy, right? So there's many reasons for that, and we're going to be diving into that through these series of videos on communication. What I want to start with is just some fundamental aspects of communication. So let's look at communication as a whole, for example, okay? Communication is really just a giving and receiving of information, right? There's a person who is speaking the information, sharing something with you, and then there's the person who's receiving it, filtering it through their mind. So whatever message is being sent is also being received somewhere else. This is where the problem inlays, in that the sender of the message has a thought or an intention behind what it is that they're saying. But when they say the message, there's so many factors on how the message is delivered that when the person receives the message, they have their own filter of interpretation and intention of hearing the message. In other words, drama and conflict are huge in communication because of how we filter and think things through. Essentially, we filter communication through our own experiences. There's a specific part of the brain called the amygdala, and if you watched some of the other videos that I have, we talked a little bit about the amygdala. You'll learn a lot more about that here. But essentially, the amygdala is it's the site of emotional memory, emotional learning, and it's an emotional memory bank. So it's like we go through these experiences in life that we have emotion connected to, and those emotions, when they don't get expressed, They get suppressed and stored in that amygdala. Now, the amygdala serves one purpose. That purpose is to ask us the question, am I safe? When you don't feel safe, you're going to feel something called a hijack. You're basically being triggered into a place of fear. And what do we all want to do when we're afraid? Find safety. Find a place where we can be secure, right? Okay. And then we use our fear mechanisms like fight, flee, and freeze to try and find that safety. So let's come back to communication now. Let's say that I have an intention to share with my partner that, I don't particularly want to go to this place for dinner. Like, it's just, actually, let me use a live example, okay? My husband really wants to go to Mammoth Mountain. The snow in California this year happens to be insane. Like, I know, and I'm saying snow in California. But yes, there are certain parts of California up in the Sierras where it does snow. And it's been insane this year. It's been so epic. He's an avid snowboarder. I don't ski or snowboard. I have tried it. I have fallen on my bum. I have bruises like the size of, I can't even tell you, that I've experienced, and I never want to experience that again. So, not my cup of tea, right? It's not my jam. He loves it though. So when we go up to Mammoth, because I want to support him and be there with him, I don't have as much fun. I don't know what to say other than that. But I love being with my husband. We love spending time together, and we want to have more adventures together. However, the Airbnb that he tends to choose is like a boys trip. Just like, it doesn't matter. It could be like we're sleeping in sleeping bags on the cold, hard floor of like someone's closet. They don't care. I shouldn't generalize. He doesn't care. He's like, whatever. So he finds these Airbnbs that are super inexpensive, which is nice, but they tend to not be the best scenario or the one that I would choose. Now, because I'm not skiing, I spend a lot of time in the Airbnb. I'm chilling, I'm relaxing, I'm doing my work, I'm praying, I'm spending time with God, I go get a massage, like those kinds of things, right? Sit by the fire. So I want a really nice Airbnb. So I was sharing with him, and I was sending the message that here is why I want to spend exponentially more on an Airbnb than you do. So as I was delivering my message, my intention was for him to understand where I was coming from. This and here lies the first problem. I'll get back to that in just a second. What I want to share is that he heard it from his own filter based upon his own amygdala. So what he heard and what I sent was two totally different things. And the end result of that ended up in a break in communication and a lot of drama and conflict, because the end of the conversation, he was like, you know what? These were his exact words. You've ruined it, and now I don't even want to go. I'll tell you how we got there. So, my intention of sharing with him, this goes to this problem I was talking about, is that I wanted him to understand where I was coming from. That is the first problem. If you are sending a message with the intention that someone is going to understand you, you are going to have breakdown in your communication, because make sure you hold on to this. No one, it's going to sound so 180 from anything you've ever heard. No one will understand you. They can't. Why? They don't have the same amygdala experiences that you do. They don't have the same filter than you do. Have you ever put on someone else's glasses? When you put on their glasses, what happens? It's all blurry and you can't really see. But for them, they see clearly and they're like, I don't get why you can't see out of my glasses. They work perfectly for me. That's kind of what we're doing when we're saying, I just need you or want you to understand where I'm coming from or what I'm saying. So by me wanting him to understand, there was this expectation attached to the intention that he was going to hear exactly what I was saying. And that's not what happened. So boom, that was the first part of the breakdown. So I don't want to give you too much in these series so that we can digest piece by piece of how communication breaks down and the solution to communication, so that you can have true success in all of your relationships. So we're going to stop right here. And I just want you to, I'm actually going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you to shift your intention when you are sending a message to not being about needing to be understood. Because if you're trying to be understood, now you know, never gonna happen. Not because they don't want to, not because they are mad at you, not because they don't love you, not because you're not worthy or not enough or not important or unlovable, not because of any of those things. The only reason they cannot hear you is because they do not have the same filter you do. So they can't. And to have that expectation, it's only going to cause drama and conflict. So start sending a message with the intention being something else. Clear communication on your part, the way you speak something, wanting to have resolution rather than understand me, something of that nature. Set an intention that is different than being understood, because the more you try and be understood, the less understood you will be. Example, this whole breakdown. By the end of the conversation, once Eric was at that point, by the way, we had a really healthy conversation because I used the solution I'm going to be teaching you in this series. So after he said, forget it, you ruined it. Normally, that would have hijacked me. And then I would have shut down, gone into a controlling defensive behavior, fight, and then I would have fled. And I would have been like, screw you. And then I would have left. I would have controlled the situation by leaving, which would be fleeing, and then not talk to him until the next morning. That's what would have happened in the past. Now, through this solution, and also the work that I've done within myself, because I practice what I teach, I was able to hear the message totally different. There was no hijack. And because there was no hijack, I was able to go to the next steps of the solution, and we got to a beautiful place. And we ended up getting a perfect Airbnb for both of us. That's what I mean by success. When you know how to truly communicate and use the solution I'm going to be teaching you throughout these series, success is the end result to your communication and, of course, your relationships. So stay tuned for the rest of it. For now, focus in on you don't need to be understood. If you're trying, it's just going to make things harder on you and create more drama and conflict, which is what you probably want to eliminate. Instead, just come from a truer intention that has nothing to do with that expectation. And then the second thing is you're going to be listening, you're going to be receiving something back once you share something. Send message, receive message. In the receiving, that you just stay grounded. Don't be thinking about what you think they're saying. We want to gain clarity and more so get curious. I'll leave you with that piece of it. Get curious about what are they actually saying here, and we'll pick up there next time. All right, my friend, if you found this video valuable, please pass it on, share it with others. Go ahead and like or subscribe to this channel so that you know when new videos are coming out, and I will see you very soon.